Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back for round 3 of season 2 of the F1 2020 McLaren driver career mode, where today we're here ready for the Vietnamese Grand Prix. Yes, I know we've been doing a lot of this series over the last few days. Obviously, if you have enjoyed, make sure you leave a like and subscribe as well. It really does help me out as well as the channel at the moment. But yeah, we will be going back to the My Team career mode very, very soon. We've got 4 races to go of the season obviously as well, so yeah, definitely all more reasons for getting yourself subscribed to the channel as well. But obviously, yeah, if you missed out on the last video that went live yesterday from Bahrain, I would definitely recommend going back and checking it out. There will be, of course, spoilers in 3, 2, 1 now. So, heading out of Bahrain then, it's one apiece for myself and Lando Norris at the start of the season there. We've got 2 fastest laps, which have given us the lead in the Drivers' World Championship there, but the likes of Bottas, 2 podiums, 2 third places there, Sergio Perez and Lewis Hamilton as well, looking rather strong, waiting in the wings here. So early signs are good for the team. We had a very strong weekend in Bahrain. Australia was a slightly different story, but obviously we still were able to finish out on top that weekend. But yeah, Vietnam, a very different circuit, very difficult to try and get right. So let's dive in then here to Hanoi. So here we are then, ready for qualifying here at the Hanoi Street Circuit. I'll be honest, it's been such a long time since I've driven this track on F1 2020. Obviously, the last time I would have driven it was back at the start of the My Team Career Mode Season 4. And yeah, I have sort of missed this place. I forgot how good fun this track always is. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of it, but I've always thought it's quite good fun on F1 2020. You know, very fun track when you're able to get a lap hooked up. But are we going to be able to get that lap hooked up today? Let's find out in just a moment's time then. Lights out and away we go for qualifying here for the Vietnamese Grand Prix. We are still yet to get a pole position with McLaren so far in this career mode, so we'll wait and see whether today could be that day. Obviously a little bit more of a chassis-based circuit than Bahrain last time out, so I'm expecting Mercedes and Red Bull to be very quick around here as we don't get a good run through the first couple of corners. You can see all the way down in P16 at the moment as we skimmed the inside wall on the exit of the first complex, down in towards the chicane and then into the roundabout, making up a bit of ground on the guys in front of us there, being nice and brave on the brakes, trying to roll on the power on the exit as you head down the back straightaway here, running fairly middle of the road arrow, obviously around this circuit. You've got this huge straight, but obviously Sector 1 and Sector 3, both very technical as well here, so obviously important that you got enough aero and grip through those tight twisty bits, down in towards the hairpin, nice and tidy once again. Amazing the stopping power of these Formula 1 cars, but Lando at the moment looking very comfortable in P1. We're a few tenths off down in P6 as we head in towards Sector 3 there, quickest actually through Sector 2, so maybe we're not running as much aero as a lot of our competitors here. Down through the final couple of corners of the lap though, make sure you take as much curb as you possibly can through there in towards the penultimate corner. Very difficult to get that corner hooked up, but we do find the apex. One more turn to go. Try to avoid the outside wall, and it's only going to be P5 at the end there as Lando back-to-back pole positions in this career mode. He is a man on a mission in the early stage of this season and looks incredibly feisty.
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top 3 today. Norris, Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. Goodbye for now then, but we're really just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
So there we go then, qualifying done and dusted here for the Vietnamese Grand Prix. Lando Norris makes it 2 pole positions in a row there as Hamilton and Bottas there for Mercedes look to be back on the pace this weekend there. Verstappen 4th ahead of myself, both Ferraris, Ricciardo and then Albon all the way down in P9. They're ahead of Sergio Perez, obviously now a Formula 1 Grand Prix winner as well there. But yeah, a bit of a not too many surprises, a couple of disappointing performers there, myself and Albon probably most notably. But let's dive in then here to the Vietnamese Grand Prix.
The Formula 1 circus has arrived in Southeast Asia once more as we usher in a new era and get ready to go racing here in Vietnam. A lap of Hanoi circuit then, 3.4 miles around the Vietnamese capital. A number of the 23 corners take their inspiration from other great circuits, hopefully creating plenty of passing opportunities. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday and will start from pole position. And it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Bottas, Verstappen, Mr. Monaco and Leclerc, Vettel, Ricciardo, Albon and Sergio Perez, Stroll, Gasly, Esteban Ocon and Kvyat, Magnussen, Grosjean, Antonio Giovinazzi and Kimi Raikkonen, Russell and Nicholas Latifi. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Once again, Jeff, not quite getting the idea of how you win a Formula 1 World Championship there. I mean, you need top 10 finishes, but you also need top 3 finishes and top 2 finishes and maybe a few wins wouldn't go amiss as well here. But we're ready, round 3 of the season here in Hanoi once more. Then perhaps a track that we'll never see a real Formula 1 race at, looking at it at the moment. But hopefully today we can prove and provide a good race ahead of us here. 14 laps once more. Obviously, a lot of the early races in the season, sort of 14, 15 laps. And obviously you get back to Europe and you got Monaco, Zandvoort, Spain, where you got like 17, 18 laps as well there. But we're ready on the grid. Round 5 of the season. If we can try and cut through the traffic early on and try and get towards the front, that would be good. But Lando, once again, looking very, very quick this weekend. Hamilton seems to be finally back as well. He's had a couple of races to settle back in. And yeah, things are looking interesting. Round 3 of the season. 5 red lights. And it's lights out. And away we go here in Hanoi. Responding actually rather well to the lights there. But the same can be said for Sebastian Vettel as we head down in towards turn 1. Verstappen tries to give us a bit of a squeeze there as we head through the first corner. A little bit of concertina and up as we actually get to the inside of the Red Bull. But Hamilton straight up into the lead of the Grand Prix there as we slide up the inside of the Red Bull, man. So Mercedes McLaren at the start there. But Lando instantly trying to come back at Lewis Hamilton at the front of the field there. Verstappen trying to do the same thing to me as we head down in towards the end of Sector 1. Side by side, Verstappen, a bit of wheel-to-wheel contact between myself and the Red Bull man. Obviously, we managed to overtake him last weekend. We keep it right around the outside through the roundabout. Make sure we're giving the room on the exit. But that Red Bull looking very, very quick there. Now the ERS kicks in. And Max Verstappen's top-end speed, nothing he can do to try and challenge us as we head down the back straight there. Just use a little bit more of our ERS to build up a bit of a margin. But Lando back up into the lead of the Grand Prix there as the Mercedes behind him hounding each other. They should be focusing on trying to get back up to Lando there as Bottas gets around the outside of Hamilton. So from hero to zero for Lewis Hamilton at the start of this Grand Prix. Yellow flags out behind as someone appears to be going slowly. I'm guessing it was just some concertina and up through Sector 2 there as we just get a little bit loose. Don't hit that inside curb too many times in this race. But a decent start. We're at 1 place. And the Mercedes are still just behind Lando. Through the roundabout on lap 2 then, we have close up to the back of Lewis Hamilton just a bit there. It's a bit of understeer actually heading out onto the back straightaway. 2 cars had to pit on that one then. One of the Alpha Towers and the Williams you can see heading back out onto the race circuit there. So that's not ideal for them at the moment. As yeah, Bottas seems to be the one hounding our teammate Lando Norris in the early stages of this Grand Prix. Is Hamilton just not able to keep up with these younger drivers nowadays? Of course, this is officially, well, technically 2021 in this alternate universe. I certainly wouldn't expect the same things from Hamilton in real life just yet, but at the moment, we're still sat behind him anyway. It always feels like such a strange track to try and get laps hooked up round. It's so difficult to be consistent around here. Lap after lap after lap, I find, just due to the sheer nature of the way the curbing works as we head through the roundabout section once more. Again, you see that Mercedes just seems to grip in very, very late on through the corner, and there's just nothing we can do to try and match it as we head out onto the back straightaway once more. We're trying to use a bit more of our ERS, see if we can give Hamilton a bit of a run for his money as we head down in towards the hairpin here. We're going to be on the outside. We've got yellow flags out. Is that another Red Bull issue? Yes, it is. Alex Albon out of another Grand Prix there as we get a safety car just as we were about to complete the move on Lewis Hamilton there. But Albon, again, seemingly having issues here in another Grand Prix. Red Bull, what is up with their reliability at the start of this season? But yeah, VSC out, that means we can't do anything. As confirmation, Albon is out of the Vietnamese Grand Prix. VSC coming to an end then, there we go. It is green flag racing once again here in Hanoi. And yeah, I did consider going for a pit stop at the end of that last lap, but I didn't think it was going to be wise to do so, as Hamilton rocketing off the restart there. Bottas as well seems to have responded well to the end of the VSCs all over the back once more of our teammate Lando Norris here, as we take as much curb as we can through the first chicane. Can we try and keep close to Hamilton? Again, just having to lift out the throttle a bit more than the Mercedes. Fantastic traction out onto the back straightaway. But again, we've got a good run on Lewis Hamilton here. The team on the radio saying we need to make a move work. Which way is Hamilton going to go? He's going to look once again to the inside there. Bottas trying to make moves happen as well as we head down in towards the hairpin. Hamilton back up the inside. Oh, parks on the apex there. I was going to try and go for a switchback on him, but we get wedged over the curbs. Bottas, though, seems to have pulled off the move. So we've had 3 different leaders in 4 laps here in Vietnam at the start of this Grand Prix. And Bottas, yeah, is a man on a mission to finally try and get that first race win of the season. Once again, getting another good run on Hamilton down the back straightaway. Hopefully this time round, a big old squeeze coming from our fellow Englishman there. But this time round, we get comfortably past him. So I think Hamilton has used a lot of his overtake at the start of this Grand Prix there. So we're now up into 3rd place there, and the McLarens are in a Mercedes sandwich at the moment. But yeah, Bahrain seem to have really gone our way. But it seems like around these bit more twisty technical circuits, Mercedes still definitely on the money. I think Lando's given up on trying to get past Bottas here, as on to lap 6 we go. We got more yellow flags out. Don't say that's Lando with an issue here in this Grand Prix. Lando Norris appears to be going slowly here as we head out towards the exit of the roundabout section there. Yeah, definitely issues for our teammate. I don't want to hit him on the exit of the corner there, but 2 big names out at the start of this Grand Prix there, and that is a hammer blow for our team there as Hamilton tries to get a good run on us. Lando out of the Vietnamese Grand Prix. Is Hamilton going to be able to try and get past us as well here with another virtual safety car? Has Hamilton just done that under VSC, or was he just ahead of us beforehand? I think we might just try and get a replay of that one, as Hamilton sitting very, very slow on the exit of the corner there. But yeah, not too sure if he jumped us there. But 2 VSCs inside 6 laps, but Lando Norris out of the Vietnamese Grand Prix. VSC coming to an end then in just a moment. As are we going to see one of the Mercedes dive into the pit lane? No, not just yet, so we'll stay out for another lap as well then. But I can't believe that. Poor Lando Norris out after looking like he was about to make another move from the lead. The engine suddenly just decided it wasn't happening, mate. And that is, yeah, a hammer blow for our reliability record as well here. Red Bull, though, certainly not quite having the same issues as those guys just yet. Getting another good run on Hamilton down towards the end of the back straightaway. Again, to the outside. Going to try and run a bit deeper into the corner this time round and get a good exit. And I think this time round, we have pulled it off there. Just about out traction in the Mercedes as we head down in towards Sector 3 once more there. Bottas, though, comfortably got a 2-second lead at the moment. But yeah, I can't help but feel, you know, this doesn't fill myself up with much confidence in this Grand Prix here, that obviously Lando has fallen to the wayside. The team as well discussing whether to pit in now. We're going to stay out for one more there as Hamilton behind us actually jumps into the pit lane there. So maybe Hamilton trying to go for a bit of an undercut. We're just going to try and go one lap longer here as the softs still aren't feeling too bad. Coming towards the end of lap 8 then, these tyres very, very much at the end of their usable life here as we head through Sector 3. Just try and keep the rear end in check. Make sure we get it slowed down nice and tidily, though, into the pit lane as, of course, Bottas in front of us dives it in. Nice and comfortable on pit entry there as, yeah, the 2 guys at the front into the pits. Charles Leclerc as well just behind us going to dive it in, as well as, I'm guessing, Esteban Ocon and Daniel Kvyat there. But intrigued to see whether Hamilton has got a bit of an undercutter here on us in this Grand Prix, whether he could find himself up in the lead. He has been held up behind one of the Alfa Romeos, and a 2.6 second stop isn't too shabby either here as Hamilton is going to come through the final corner. Obviously we've got to remember we get a much better run out of turn 1 as well. Hamilton is going to move up momentarily into P2 of this Grand Prix, but is he going to stay out ahead of us as well? Remember, the pit lane exit isn't flat, and there is Hamilton as we just run a bit wide on pit exit here. Obviously, he's going to have warm rubber as we head out onto the first of the DRS straights here, but Hamilton is behind us at the moment there. As look at the run, he's instantly gone as we have to move to the outside to let Hamilton through there. Yeah, there's nothing we can do about the overspeed as we head down the back straightaway there. Kvyat's actually set out for another lap in this Grand Prix, so his softs are certainly going to be dead come the end of this one, as all the Mercedes running a little bit slower out of the hairpin. And I worked out why we were so slow down that first straight, completely forgot to put it back up into rich revs there, but again, just trying to get the overspeed on Hamilton. So quick down the straight still is this car at the moment. There is Hamilton, nothing he can do in that situation to fight us coming back at him. Kvyat has already been jumped by Bottas as well here, as we're just about getting some heat into the rubber though, but Bottas has made a good restart from this. 3 seconds now up the road. He's pulled away about a second through the pit window. Just coming up towards the back of Danny Kvyat as he dives into the pit lane here, so we will now be back up into P2 of this Grand Prix, but Bottas still out in front, about 3 seconds clear at the moment, as we almost, I think we just grazed the outside wall there, but that was almost half the front wing gone on the final turn there. So easy to make a mistake through that corner, as yeah, Bottas now, gap opening up to almost 4 seconds. Can we potentially try and close this down, or is it a battle for P2 between myself and Hamilton? After escaping Hamilton's clutches, the pace looking rather decent actually towards the end of this Grand Prix. We're struggling a bit for ERS, but the gap to Bottas is coming down still lap after lap at the moment. Under 2 seconds now with 3 laps to go, so maybe, just maybe, we'll get one chance at this right at the end, or on the other hand, Mercedes will just tell Bottas, right, use ERS, and we won't get any say in it. To go, the gap comes down by another few tenths on the end of the last lap there, but these medium tyres definitely feeling the wear as well. We're clearly trying to push him still, but Bottas is still looking comfortable. And Jeff is absolutely right. We are trying to be aware of those tyres, but we're just trying to be quick but careful. Getting through the final sector then, ready to start the last lap of this Vietnamese Grand Prix, and we are still just trying to inch closer and closer to Valtteri Bottas, but now I think Mercedes just turning up the engine a little bit to make sure he's comfortable to the end of this Grand Prix there. The gap finally under a second, we finally get some DRS, but it might only get one opportunity at this, and that is a run down the back straightaway, taking a lot of curb through turn 1 and turn 2, really just trying to open up the exit through turn 3, a load of understeer through there, and that hasn't set us up for a good run out onto the first of the back straightaways there, knocking the inside wall on the exit there, and you can see instantly once more the gap opens up to about 1.3 seconds as we head down the back straight, and again just locking up in through sector 2 in towards the roundabout section, try and stop the front end from understeering. We accidentally left the ERS though on, so that's not going to help us out at all as we head down this back straight there. And you see Bottas still over a second ahead, so I think this is just too little too late, unfortunately, in this Vietnamese Grand Prix there. We do once again get the gap under 1 second as we head down in towards sector 3, but surely unless Bottas makes a mistake, there's going to be nowhere where we can get close enough to try and go for anything, or, you know, be risky enough to try and go for anything as well through sector 3 here. So it looks like we're going to get our third winner in 3 different Grand Prix there. Jeff's saying we need to get past him, but I just can't see anything being possible through these final few corners here in Vietnam. Race 1 probably should have been Bottas's. It was looking like Bottas's right to the very end of the Grand Prix, but he is going to get redemption 2 races later here in Vietnam. Mercedes are finally going to get their first win on the cards as well, and this title fight is certainly not going to be easy. P2 at the end here from Vietnam.
Top job, my friend, top job. I was a bit worried about this one at the start of the weekend, but you've pulled through. Thank you.
Well, they've done a brilliant job, I must say, under some intense pressure to take a well-earned victory here at the Vietnam Grand Prix. Talk to me, Ant. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, I know it's a bit of a boring answer, but the truth is they simply had the best speed package on the day, and a driver who knows how to take advantage of that. It doesn't matter how much time you spend poring over the stats and planning strategies if you can't keep the pace, and our winner today showed they could do both.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for Driver of the Day?
Difficult call, but I'd like to say Esteban Ocon. He's just so gifted at getting the most out of his tyres, and he showed that today.
Let's move on to the Constructors. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend from them as they fight their way towards the top. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, there we are then, guys. The end of the Vietnamese Grand Prix there, and another exciting twist in the early stages of this season there. Bottas, 3 different winners in the first 3 Grand Prix here. Finally, the Finn stands on the top step once again as obviously the reigning world champion in this series there. But we come through for P2 in the end. Felt like had we just done a little bit more early on, we could have potentially got Bottas there, but I think the Finn did deserve it this weekend. And Hamilton finally gets his first podium of the season as well. That looks to be back in business. Charles Leclerc for Ferrari, a very, very good day out there. 11 seconds clear of anyone else from the midfield, I guess you can call it there, ahead of both Renaults, who again did a fantastic job there. 5th and 6th from 8th and 13th on the grid there. The race pace of that car, very, very strong this weekend there. Seb holds on to 7th place from the grid, ahead of Verstappen, who Red Bull again. Pretty much every Grand Prix this year, they have not been able to get the most out of the car. They clearly have a lot of reliability issues that they need to get worked out there. Just ahead of Kvyat, who obviously went long at the start there and did hold on for P9. And then Romain Grosjean scoring 1 big point for Haas as well there at the end of the day there. Giovinazzi just missing out ahead of Gasly, Magnussen, Perez, Raikkonen and Russell. Lance Stroll all the way down in 17th there. Tore it out for the Racing Point man. And then obviously Latifi down in last place there. As well as obviously Lando and Albon. Neither of those guys making it to the end there. And Lando actually took fastest lap despite only being able to do a few laps in the Grand Prix there. But that means in terms of the World Championship, the gap at the top down to just 8 points between myself and Bottas there, as Lando now 20 points off the top there. Hamilton seems to have done a bit of damage limitation, 35 points now. Seems to be, yeah, in the hustle and bustle at the top once again of the World Championship there. Charles Leclerc up to 5th place ahead of Sergio Perez there. Yeah, pretty disappointing day out considering how good he's been in the opening 2 Grand Prix. They're ahead though of Verstappen, and Ricciardo there moves himself up into 8th place there. Ocon in 9th. Vettel now jumps Alex Albon into 10th place there. So Red Bull 7th and 11th in the Drivers' World Championship. Not what they need at the moment there. Both AlphaTauris 12th and 13th. They're ahead of Grosjean there, and you can see Stroll, the Alphas, the Haas and Magnussen and the Williams still yet to score points here. But constructors-wise though, Mercedes take a big, big chunk out of us as well this weekend there. The gap just 16 points now at the top of the standings there. Ferrari 3rd with just 33 points after the opening 3 Grand Prix there. Is rather crazy to think about, as while they're ahead of Renault, Red Bull and Racing Point. All 4 of those teams seem to really, really struggle at the start of the season there. AlphaTauri up in 7th ahead of Haas, who now get off the marks there with Alfa Romeo and Williams, the only 2 teams left to score. But thank you all so much for watching this video. Do make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you're new around here as well. And yeah, we will be back very, very soon. For round 4 of the season, we head to China. You guys do not want to miss it. A big thank you to our channel members for making these videos possible. You can be featured in these end clips as well as granted access to some other exclusive perks for just £1 a month by clicking the join button below.